Right? Online stuff is so easy to manipulate. So I think this is where offline will always have some kind of value, and I like that. I like offline. I don't like internet culture where everyone's like mad at each other all the time, and they're always like twisting each other's words, and like I think one of the best things that FGC has is the fact that it still has open tournaments where you can meet your like homies and friends and meet your competitors, and like that is an important thing. It's expensive, of course, like if you're like having to travel and stuff like that, but it's still a thing where you don't see it in other games, right? I mean, like people do meet offline and stuff, but not like 7,000 players, like a Evo, right? And so I think that is one thing that we're salvaging.
But that also created a new issue, right? Because like we all know that offline is the laggiest tournament nowadays.
Yeah.
Because you have PS5, you have the stream setup, and then you have a different monitor, overheating for PS5, and then you have PC issues.
Yeah.
And you have different VSync or whatever, like random lag that's gonna happen or whatever PC issues, So people want to play optimal. But at the same time, like offline also create a ton of issues, not to add all the OG issues where like if you play on a stick, and a person is playing on a pad or the levelers and you're sitting next to him, the disadvantage is more than what people think. It actually really don't feel good using a stick, when opponent is not using one, because like the motion or whatever you are doing, you give people a little bit more time to react. Yeah, it's not about like a lot of people say about like, oh, they watch his stick or there's no such thing.
Yeah.
But if you can feel what the opponent is gonna turn like just 0.5 seconds earlier, it's just annoying enough, especially for charge character. It's so annoying.
Well, it gets in your head too, because now you're like thinking about that, like, oh, I'm doing this motion, is this person picking up on it? And then it's like a mental damage too, right?
Yes. So it's a lot of.
But I mean, like, I the stories of, maybe you've done this yourself, but sometimes you have to do a fake motion, like like mashing on your wake up and then you just wake up throw, like that's the thing, right?
But it's very cheap. That's just like you accusing, like it's like you telling people like like they are cheating. It's the same thing. When you do that, you have a bad reputation. He pressed a lot of fake motions all the time. It's fake button.
Yeah,
do
sure.
everything to win. But the thing is, but if you don't do it, you put yourself in a disadvantage. Because if you're a charge character, and you're just walking left and right trying to play footsies, there's no way you have a charge for fireball. It's too obvious.
Yeah, of course.
It really gives the information. There's no way you can surprise him with a fireball, even though you master your charge.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's impossible. So it gets to the point, like, I would say that the worst one would be dowsing. Because so back in the days, I have seen a dowsing, like.
By the way, Street Fighter 4 dowsing main.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
There used to be a Street Fighter 4 dowsing main. So I figured out one thing in the game is that I can never do an instant jump teleport to my opponent. Because dowsing is always not doing anything.
Yeah.
Pressing buttons.
And then you do a big motion.
Then once I do a like
tiger knee motion
into a teleport, the guy always DP. I was like, no way. You can jab it up, but no, what? So DP all the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, like if I wake up and want to do that, my whole body is moving, right? And the execution is hard too, So it's really annoying, So like,
I mean,
fairness is there.
Yeah. You were in the 4 days. You're playing in the 4 days, and you have to deal with that kind of stuff. And you knew the players. I know this too. There's like the community knows, like, okay, that player, like that guy definitely takes advantage of that. That player does that. That player's like, more like tries to hide their inputs.
Some
right?
players are also known as the looker. That guy looks at the button. Like, some person like that.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of like, I guess this is where sometimes maybe you're jealous of like pad players and stuff, right? It's kind of like, they can kind of like Anakin, like Tekken players, like pad is legit because like the PlayStation versions of Tekken have been good,
only
right?
4 attack buttons.
4 attack buttons. So like whenever I see Anakin, like Tekken player play, he's like the perfect poker player, right? Just his demeanor and everything, and he's very like, he doesn't ever look like he got flustered or anything. He has like a very like hard to read face, and he plays pad. So it's like you don't know what this guy's doing. And he just like fucks you up, right? So it's like
in Street Fighter also infectious It was one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, he had
He was the robot.
Yeah, he also had the thumbnail with this picture of like having like the same face and like all the thumbnails.
All the emotion.
Yeah, Infectious has like
Infectious was like that in the Street Fighter community.
Yeah, that's just funny, man.
But it's like, do we really have to go further than just game knowledge to get better? That's always the question mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
This
mean,
can get really annoying.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I think Asian players, a lot of in the way the arcade cabinets in Asia have mostly been compared to like North America is, it's a head-to-head cabinet. So you're kind of hiding behind a cabinet, and you're bodying someone, and you don't even know what they look like. You're just bodying somebody, and you kind of have to look right over. But I grew up in the U.S., right? So when I played in the arcade, it was always like somebody, you smelled the person next to you. Yeah, and you played, and like they would like, I was a kid, and they're like saying all these swear words and cuss words that like I'm just like, oh shit, this is an adult place. Like the arcade is not a very safe place, and so. Yeah, and so it's a different etiquette, right? And I feel like the American players, like the John Choi's and the Alex Valles. I mean they know they went through all that.
Yeah, they went through it.
They knew all that. And I feel like the players who played, those players, like the American players, kind of like learned this kind of new way of playing of side by side. And then of course Evo is the biggest tournament, and that's the format they do, right?
And relation to what Xian was saying before, like if you start accusing someone cheating without hard evidence, it's also like your reputation may be damaged, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the pro players have to now deal with this thing now. This never used to be a thing.
Yeah.
But now your suspicion is always there, which is bothering you.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like this is why, like, remember like in the recent Evos, you saw the DRX Tekken players like as a like
they put like a jacket.
And like they put like a jacket. And then Xiao Hai had his like box that looked
combat box.
The combat box. Man.
Because that's their best defense without being controversial, right? Because they truly believe, like for Tekken players example, that the Pakistani player is look at your button.
Yeah.
Whatever reason, whether it's true or not, they believe covering the stick is the best option.
But there's also a second reason for that too. I imagine when you do that, you're showing other players and they're showing the audience, I'm not one of those cheater types. Because I'm the one that wants to hide the buttons, right? So I'm the honorable player who doesn't look. And so it's kind of a double benefit, right?
Yeah. No. I think the effect is different. I think when you try to cover your hands like this, try to put a box,
more sus.
And if you lose, you lose a lot more.
Really?
It's like, oh man, they gotta do so much shit and still get bodied. Double perfect. Don't waste your time.
Okay, so this is another perspective. So
it's more embarrassing.
Yeah, it looks like you are like
trying so hard.
Right. So
you still got bodied.
Try hard was also a trending word in Twitter one day in the FGC. It's like, man, you can just enjoy fighting game. Why these tryhards doing all this like special tech?
Yeah, then
option select.
Have people like, oh, you're so tryhard, you still get body. Like, stop this nonsense.
But I think like when you do the button covering thing, you look tryhard even to the FGC.
Yes.
Like it's on some level, everyone's tryhard in the FGC, right? It's like you want to get good at the game, right?
But but people like to try hard, but then they like to say they don't. You can. It's all up to you what you want to say. But when you have a box, you make an effort right there. People can tell. You can't deny the try hard.
You do look weird because not everyone's doing that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't know. All this kind of makes me feel like the best option to go is like pad or leverless or something.
No, the best option is like, you see, most of the content production team and people, they do tournaments. They don't want to do head to head. It's a lot of work.
That's true. Yeah.
The purpose always clash.
Yeah.
So I would say the FGC is in a place right now where like there's too many issues.
Yeah.
Be it online, offline, head to head. Be it the lag, the timing, the PS5, the PC, the prize money, the tournament, the split. Well, too much of problems.
There's too many things that has to satisfy because like. Even like the console and the PC, that's like, different sponsors, like PlayStation is like, sponsoring this event. So you need to have the PlayStation. Remember the whole lag thing? Remember the first Street Fighter 4 on PS4.
PS3.
When it came out,
PS3 as well. Yeah.
PS3 had an extra frame, right?
Yeah.
PS4 version when it first came out was so laggy.
so laggy.
Evo had to just cancel. They were like, "No,
Go back
we
Xbox.
can't do this." Yeah. I remember when I played that arcade stream, and we were laughing. Like I was with the other players, and we were just like laughing at how laggy and bad it was. Like, there's no way they can rock this.
You know that it's not their fault because they played on the Xbox version, which why result in them thinking it's laggy. If you have never played on the PC version,
Yeah.
arcade will feel laggy too.
Yeah.
Feels-
Arcade was actually laggier than Xbox.
Yes,
Oh,
laggy.
Two
yeah,
frame
yeah.
laggier than Xbox.
Yeah, no, I remember people to practice the arcade people will be more comfortable with PS3 version because arcade is more similar to PS3. Xbox was too fast for the arcade guys.
And PC was worse. PC was the best.
It also depends on what you're used to too, because if you're like used to like the timing of this kind of laggier setup, then you get good on that. It's a different game. It's a completely different game.